No matter what age your child is, you want the best for their future. What do they want to do after graduation? What career path do they want to take? These questions can be overwhelming. That's why you should ask them this question. What's your E? Seminole County Public Schools E-Pathway program is designed for your student to choose their own path in life from as many options as we can offer. Whether they're looking to enlist, enroll, or be employed, we're excited to help you and your child make it happen. Want them to enroll in a college or university? We'll help you find the best school for them to continue their education. Learn about grants and programs to help your child obtain their degree at a pace and a cost that works for you both. Are they looking to go straight into employment? Discover a variety of trades and skills that will propel their future. They can learn aviation maintenance, automotive repair, culinary arts, and more to hone their talents in growing industries. Is your child interested in enlistment? We'll help them find the right path of service, whether it's military, law enforcement, fire response, or EMS. They can serve the community while learning skills that will last a lifetime. What's your E? Explore options with E-Pathways by visiting us online at the link below.
What inspired me to get into engineering was Lego. So I started as a kid, as most kids do, working with Legos and just kind of doing your own thing, building the Lego sets, and I would often take apart my Lego sets, mix them together, and build something completely new. Then in about 4th grade, I was introduced to Lego robotics, which is where you have a actual robot that you could program, and you start with this brick, and that would feed information to Lego motors, and it would all communicate as a system, and you could do a lot of really cool robotic tasks with that. And that was really the start of me looking into engineering. The engineering I'm looking to pursue at first is mechanical engineering. This is what I'm going to go to UCF for, and this is going to be the start of my career. A mechanical engineer can really do anything. They work with a lot of thermodynamics and a lot of vibrations and really just anything that moves. So a lot of fields use mechanical engineering. I want to go past that and specialize into biomedical engineering, which is more along the lines of surgical robotics and medical machinery. I want to develop surgical robots, and with that I need to know exactly how the human body functions and how it functions with robotic systems. Essentially, I'll be able to design a system where a person will be able to communicate with a motor and hopefully improve their quality of life, whether this be through a surgical robot that a doctor is controlling or whether it's a prosthetic that's motorized.
I taught Josh his freshman year. He was so good with that inventor material. He picked up on it very quickly. He was ready to jump in and help other students, which I really, really appreciated. And he has carried those characteristics with him as he has moved through the program. And now with his journey moving forward in bioengineering, I can't wait to see what he's going to make with his knee brace and the orthotics that he's trying to produce.
The current prosthetic I'm looking at developing is a load-bearing knee brace in which I'm going to take a motor or servo and attach that to the knee, which will enable a person to be able to push past what their muscles currently are able to do, whether that be because of muscle fatigue or osteoarthritis in the kneecap where they're not able to put a lot of pressure on their knee. Current knee braces really only work when walking. There's still a lot of pain when there's extra forces being applied to the knee, such as walking upstairs or standing up from sitting down, things you and I normally don't think about. But for someone that has severe arthritis in their knee, this is hugely painful.
The strongest advantages of project-based learning, that hands-on experience that allows you to manipulate that material, really solidifies in the brain exactly how those things work.
The thing I would say about this program where it exceeds the most is the more you use it, the more it'll benefit you.
Good evening. All right. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting to order. It is 5:32 p.m. right now, on Tuesday, January 23rd. So I'm going to go ahead and do the invocation and the pledge. So I want to read a poem to everyone. We all have a story. We all have a story, a tale to be told of the joys that we've experienced and the hardships that we've known. Sometimes we wear them on our sleeves for all to see, but often they're hidden deep as they can be. So let us all be kind, for we never truly know the struggles and the battles that others undergo. May empathy and compassion be the guiding lights we share, and may we always remember that each story deserves care. For in our human journey, we all need love and grace. So let us be kind to one another and create a better place. Thank you. And now please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much. You may be seated. Time flies when you're having fun. I was like rushing up here. All right, let the record reflect that board members, Vice Chair Christine Krause is in attendance, Member Autumn Garrick, Member Kelly Davis, Member Amy Pennick, and our attorney, Cole Palmer, Miss Cole Palmer, I always have Carlene Cole Palmer, and our superintendent, Sarita Beeman. So I don't have any acknowledgments. Okay, thank you. Superintendent, do we have any modifications?
The addendum for good cause is marked on our electronic agenda by a green flag named addendum item. Board members, I am pulling 6R, the action item for the rescind and reaward, and the revised action item is on the addendum.
Thank you. School board members, roll call order for today is Member Garrick, Vice Chair Krause, Member Pennick, Member Davis, and then myself. I believe I also gave you a copy on your desk at Ms. Moramus, and you can put that in your desk drawer. That way I don't have to make little sticky notes. Thank you. So in order, do we have anybody for any modifications in that order? Member Garrick, do you have any modifications?
No modifications.
Thank you.
No modifications.
Thank you, Member Vice Chair Krause. Member Pennick?
No modifications.
Thank you. Member Davis?
No modifications.
And I have no modifications. Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the agenda outlined?
So moved. Second.
Okay. All right, so Vice Chair made the motion, second by Member Garrick. Is there any discussion? All those in favor of, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Unanimously, motion passes. Thank you. Superintendent, do we have any presentations?
Yes, we do. We have a number tonight. We will start with our Veteran of the Month, Miss Andrea Woods, who will be introduced by the Assistant Director in our Transportation Department, Joyce Moore.
Wonderful.
Good evening, board members and Superintendent Beeman. It is my honor this evening to present the Veteran of the Month, U.S. Army Sergeant Andrea Woods. Sergeant Woods graduated from the United States Military Academy at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri in 1992. She was part of the 704th Infantry Division. She successfully completed the New Equipment Training Division for the United States Communication Electronic Command, Single-Channel Ground and Airborne Radio in the Mojave Desert. She was also on the palletized load system and served as a transportation driver. In 1997, she was promoted to specialist for the Main Support Battalion when she was recognized for her outstanding performance in support of the log-based Seagull during Operation Golden Cargo in Tula, Utah. She also received an Achievement Medal in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba for her service to refugees in Haiti and Cuba. Another noteworthy event in her military career was assisting with the setup of a memorial performance by featured singer Gloria Estefan. Her last promotion to sergeant was in 1998, and her final 3 years of service in the U.S. Army was spent as a reservist. Her desire to serve the community led her to SCPS in 1997, where she currently serves as the bus driver for Route 08, servicing students at schools including Lake Mary High School, Greenwood Lakes Middle School, Bentley Elementary, and Pinecrest Elementary. She is a caregiver to her nieces and nephews, one of whom is joining her this evening. She's a self-proclaimed movie buff who loves to go fishing and ride her bicycle in her spare time. Congratulations and thank you, Sergeant Andrea Woods, for your service to our country and students of Seminole County.
Good evening, school board members and superintendent. I'm Jean Van Smith, Executive Director of the Foundation. January is National Mentoring Month, and I'm so happy to be here to recognize our amazing mentors in the Take Stock in Children program. As many of you know, Take Stock in Children is a mentoring and scholarship program that provides students with support throughout high school and a 2-year college scholarship upon graduation. Our 97 mentors support 107 students in all 10 of our high schools, and last year did over 2,100 mentor sessions. And we have people from all different backgrounds and walks of life, people who are retired, working professionals, people from every area of the county in our mentoring program, including 2 of our mentors who have been with the program supporting students for over 20 years. Mentors here tonight are representing some of those 97 mentors in our program, and I want to thank you and we want to thank you because you are absolutely supporting our A-rated district. You are absolutely supporting our graduation rate, and most importantly, you are absolutely making a difference to each one of these students, so thank you. And we're going to ask you to come on up to take a picture.
Okay, I was just waiting until the door closed while some of our wonderful volunteers left. All right, Superintendent Beeman, I believe we have some student achievement.
Absolutely. Our board members, our FOSA, focused on student achievement section tonight, is being presented by our Assistant Superintendent, Mr. Rice, over high schools because we're talking graduation rate. All right. Mr. Rice?
All right, good evening, Superintendent Beeman and board members. I'm here tonight to share with you our exciting news as we continue to receive good news about the grad rate for the class of 2023. And keep in mind that this is data from just recently, the most recent graduates. But we are very, very excited and pleased to share that we are once again at a 91.7 and doing great things in Seminole County. Very, very proud. So let's give that a round of applause. So what I wanted to do tonight is kind of work you through just a little bit of what we're seeing in the data and the bigger picture of where we stand in Seminole County. We are once again at the top, so we're very excited to share that. And I have to give it to start this off, I have to give it to, this is a K-12 initiative, and we know that this is not just the high schools. Yes, I'm standing up here, but we talk all the time in our Assistant Superintendent's PLC about the work we're doing and how we can support each other and work together. I also want to give it to the high school principals because they do a lot of work towards the end to make sure the kids are on track to graduate and that they have their test scores that are needed as well as all of their coursework to graduate and walk across that stage. So a lot of great work has gone into this. Our Operation Graduation Initiative is alive and working well, and we're very pleased to continue that effort as we continue to look at our scores here. So the first slide I want to show you is just the graduation rate trend over the years. And you can see on this trend, we're looking at our district in the red line versus the state of Florida. And we are, as always, above the state line, the state averages for graduation rate. So we are continuing to watch that, and you see we've gotten a little closer, so we want to make sure we continue to watch that trend. But as I mentioned, there's been a lot of work that's gone into this. And one of the things that I think is very important as we talk about graduation rate is the last few years with the pandemic, there's been some adjustments to the requirements that we've had to fulfill when it comes to the graduation rate. So while it looks like we've kind of peaked and come down just a little bit, it's important to keep in mind that in the years 2020 and 2021, that there were different measures put in place through state orders and DOE orders to relieve some of the stress and the burden on our students, on our families, and ensure that even though they completed their coursework, that they can still walk across the stage. We've also had some adjustments in the last 2 years with the requirement of the concordant scores at the state level, and so our math students that need to pass the Algebra 1, our ELA 10 students that need to pass those courses can use the SAT and the ACT as a metrics to also allow them to meet those graduation requirements. Over the last 2 years, we've had a little relief to, again, through the pandemic and all the learning loss that we've had, to allow those students to have the old concordant scores. And if you remember last year, I don't think we got that information until it was like late April, I want to say, to where we could bring the math PERT score in as one of the metrics. And so those are just some things as you're looking at these trends. While it looks like it's gone down, we've had some relief as a part of the COVID measures. And continuing forward here, graduation rate by subgroup. You can see again where we have peaked over the years and then just little subtle drops. But there again is just a lot of great work as we're going across. And I think what's important as you look at this is the COVID years are in the middle, and so looking at 2019, that's kind of our last bit of normalcy that we had leading up to where we are today. And so when you look across the board and you compare the work that we're doing, we've got a couple of areas that we can work on, but there's a lot of great things that are happening to maintain and even in some cases be a little better than we were in the past. So that's the subgroup analysis and breaking it down by each of our subgroups. So this is the breakdown now that we get into with the trend by school. You could see, again, looking at the years from 2018 on across to 2023, and we got the district totals at the bottom, as well as the state graduation rate. And just, looking at some of our schools as we break this down, while we have some challenges and we've had learning loss and we've been working through that, there are 5 schools that had an increase from the previous year to this year, and I think that's important to celebrate that, because that's a difficult task. It's a difficult task that they're working through, the challenges of the scores and the concordant scores, and we're continuing to maintain that high level, that high expectation that we have here in Seminole County. Specifically looking at Crooms, at Hagerty, at Lyman, Oviedo, Seminole County Virtual School, just some great growth amongst all of our schools. And as we look here, this is just a breakdown of what you saw earlier with the grad rate and the subgroups as a district. This is just breaking it down by the schools to give you a little deeper focus on where we have some great things happening. And we recognize, too, that there's some other areas that we're going to be digging into. Very pleased with some of the high rates in our Hispanic population in a good amount of our schools. So there's a lot of good work happening there, and we'll continue again to refine and figure out with our Operation Graduation Focus, what areas can we do to support our students as we continue to help them walk across the stage. And in our last slide here, we're very pleased to share, you see number 1 in the 14 largest districts across the state of Florida. We are number 1 in Central Florida and maintained in the whole state of Florida with all the districts the number 9 ranking overall. So again, we are very, very excited to share the great work that's happening in our schools, the K-12 initiative, and everything that is happening from our high schools to elementary and middle schools as well. So that is our report on the graduation rate and everything that was just published. And again, I just want to thank you for all your supports in allowing us to have the testing opportunities, the opportunities to give these students the ACT, the SAT, and help them get all of their scores they need, despite all the efforts and issues that we've had over the last 5 years.
Thank you. Does anybody have anything that they would like to add or discuss with Mr. Rice?
If I could thank Dr. Cody and your team for getting all this data. I know we got it literally yesterday, and I'm so appreciative. Thank you, everybody. It is a team project, and we're so grateful. Thank you all.
Absolutely. The A&A team is always doing amazing work. Kelly and her team are just awesome. So.
Ditto. I saw Kelly with a great big smile on her face, so I know that she was pleased to be able to get this out and present it to us. So thank you very much again for kudos to all of your efforts.
I'd like to ditto that as well. Thank you to everybody. It takes a village. So everybody here, as well as starting out off in our Great Start program. Intervention starts early, and it's critical, and as well as the families helping and leading with positive directions and with their children, but also holding the students accountable. That's critical, and I'm glad to see that we are, because maybe they dipped a little bit, but that to me shows me that we're not just letting them take a test through Plato's Lab, and you know how I feel about Plato's Lab, but we're making them, they stay after school. If you're not gonna do your work in school, you're gonna stay after school and do it. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Anybody else? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, now it's time for our board comments for each of your discussions for the committees that you're on. All right. Yes. And I'll go ahead and go with Member Garrick first.
I had the opportunity, as did Vice Chair Krause, to sit in the Central Florida School Board Association meeting. Most of the focus was on upcoming legislation and how that would impact the district. We had the FSBA, Dr. Danielle Thomas, go through some of the proposed bills, and then I will let Member Pennick and Member Davis, who had the opportunity to go to Tallahassee Days, give us some more information about your experiences and where we think legislation might be heading. And then Thursday night is the District 2 West Side meeting. So I know that we'll be busy with the Employee of the Year, but again, it's always a fabulous resource for the community, not just in the Sanford area, but also district-wide, Seminole County-wide. So that's at the Belma Williams West Side Center. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you.
I have the Seminole County Public Schools Foundation meeting tomorrow. We're meeting at Tools for Schools. The superintendent and I will be there. And I had to miss the children's cabinet because we were recognizing our top 3 employees of the year. So as soon as I get the minutes, I'll forward them on to you all. And those were my only assigned committee meetings. Thank you.
Thank you. Member Pennick?
Member Davis and I attended FSBA Days in Legislation last week. It was very, very beneficial for us to be there. The first day we spent listening to federal and local lobbyists on where the House and Senate are discussing bills and what we need to keep an eye on. And I will just say to the public out there, if you are advocating, please reach out to your legislators, our legislators everywhere, to support the deregulation bills that are being discussed, because it will allow us some more flexibility in a lot of different areas. The second day, we got to hear from the chair of the Education Committee and another representative on what they're working on and discussing. And then our lobbyist, Allie, took us to meet with our 4 of the 5 delegates in our area. One of them had to cancel because he had a committee meeting come up. And each of them expressed extreme support over our legislative priorities. We're very, very thankful that we took the time to come up there and meet with them and talk to them about some of the issues that we're facing and some of the issues that we're not facing that some of the others are, that are kind of overshadowing what's going on in the state. It was a very, we needed to be there, and we heard that from them that we needed to be there, and so it was very good. We each left thank you notes for everyone that we met with, which was very welcoming. We did hear a lot from all of the lobbyists up there that when we are meeting with them, you know, they fund us. They are how we get to do what we do, and we can't just ask. We also have to be thankful. And they are very happy when they hear from us with that thank you, not just the ask. So I would encourage our community, and I would encourage each of you to reach out and thank them for the support of our legislative priorities. The deregulation, there's a lot of speculation that it'll probably be toned down because the House has a lot of big ones. The Senate doesn't necessarily have a lot of stomach for that. I will say one bill that we all need to watch is the charter school conversion bill. There was an amendment that was posted the first night that we were there that makes it a very controversial bill that could impact us in a very negative way. And we just need to keep an eye on that. If we have anyone in the community that's willing to write our legislators, please reach out and discourage them from supporting the charter school conversion bill.
Thank you.
Could I ask you a brief question?
Mm-hmm.
Did you happen to hear about the Hope Scholarship?
Yeah.
Can you explain that for the...
Yes. So the House submitted and approved a bill to revoke the Hope Scholarship, the Hope Scholarship process. What they did is they went back and they looked at the last 10 years of use, or since it's been in place, and the use of it has declined. There was actually 800 students in the course of the state of Florida that used the Hope Scholarship last year, the last data point. Out of however many students are in the entire state of Florida, 800. Their theory is, because we are now a full choice state, we have vouchers that you can use to go to any school. The Hope Scholarship really now is not necessary. And so at first, my first reaction was, oh my gosh, why are they getting rid of this? This is such a beneficial and much needed scholarship. But then looking at the data and the way they explained it made a lot of sense. So it's really kind of simplifying the choice process. I think it will make it a lot easier on our staff to not have to follow the Hope Scholarship mandates that are in place. So I know that it was passed on one side. I don't know if it's been passed on the other side, and I don't know if it's been repealed yet, but that is another one to watch as well.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Fabulous. Member Davis?
Again, I was so happy to be up there speaking to our legislators body and just listening in on some of the Senate hearings. I agree that there's a lot of bills going through right now that will be beneficial to Seminole County. I was very glad to see that our representatives and our senator was very receptive to Seminole County's needs. A couple of them asked many, many questions, and in the end said that they would support us. And then a couple of them said, you got my vote already. So just the fact that we may have persuaded a couple of them makes a difference, because then they spread the word to other people and other representatives, and hopefully they follow suit. But it was a good conversation. It was very beneficial for me to see how the legislature actually works, as far as the bills going back and forth, and our lobbyist was fantastic in explaining everything. So I do think all of you, if you write to your representatives and your senators, can help to support Seminole County initiatives. We were also fighting for statewide ideas and issues and incentives, but being able to advocate just for Seminole County in person, wonderful. Other than that, I just joined a storage committee of some sort. Ms. Beeman?
I believe that may be on for tonight.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, and I missed the First Community Alliance meeting because I was up in Tallahassee, so hopefully I can catch up on that quickly. But again, I want to thank you all, because as far as our graduation rate, that includes all of our community support, our family support, as well as our staff here. So thank you for caring about our students.
All right, excuse me, it's my turn. Thank you all for everything that you guys are doing. I think it's probably the first time I haven't been to Tallahassee during legislative days in probably 20 years. So I had another grandbaby on New Year's Eve. So I had to stay home, which was a blessing. So I'm excited. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of Superintendent Beeman and I had the opportunity to go to mayors and managers meeting this past week, or last week, was it? And then we also had our zoo board meeting. And I believe I'm out of order because that's committee reports at the end, but I'm kind of like sorry about that. And just wanted you to know that with the zoo, the Asian Lantern Festival, we sold over 94,000 tickets this year, and record breaking. So I think that's like 2,500 more than we sold in the past, and extremely successful like it has been in the past. But there are so many other great events coming up. Check out their website, because even spring break, check out all the different activities that they are providing. They have certified teachers there, and they have some wonderful programs for our students to be able to participate in. So make sure you go onto the Central Florida Zoo Botanical Gardens website and check out all the different opportunities for your students or your children. And we will be having our employee appreciation, end of the year, our Employee of the Year event on Thursday. And I want to just thank ahead of time Mrs. Grace Gonzalez, who leads that. And for all of our phenomenal employees that we have, not just the ones that we're recognizing that day, but to all of our employees for everything that they do day in and day out. I've had an opportunity to work the front desk at Sable Point as a secretary for a few days, and I can tell you, I don't think a lot of people realize just answering the phones and collecting tardy slips and doing all the different things on a daily basis, how much work, and making sure that the right people are coming into the building and getting their name badges and everything else in place. So also wanted to make sure that you knew that there are other events like the Brews for the Zoo. I will talk more about that and as it gets closer for the zoo. We also have the Indigo Snake event coming up. We're doing an employee appreciation event. And there are just so many different things. Just go onto the website and see all the different things that are getting ready to take place. We have our state, our county band, our countywide music festival this weekend. I'm sorry, say that again? All county band, thank you. All county band festival this weekend, and also the aeronautical aviation event on Saturday as well. So it's a busy weekend for everyone, and we're looking forward to it. And I will share the rest afterwards. And so now at this point, I'm going to, board members, we have in our board book, there are different committees we need some of you to serve on for RFPs. The first one is item 6J, the ITN for Storage Area Network. Member Davis, you had indicated that you're interested in serving on that committee. Are you? Yes, awesome. Thank you so much. So Member Davis is going to be on the first one for item 6J. Thank you so much. And the second one is K, RFP for multiple therapy service for, I would believe it's SLP, all the different things like that. Am I correct?
Therapy services.
Yes, therapy services. And Member Garrick, are you still interested in serving on that one?
I am, thank you.
Okay, wonderful. That would be great. So Member Garrick is going to be on that one. And then the last one is the RFP for electrical contracting services. Member Pennick, are you interested? I know you were interested in serving on that one. Are you still interested on that one? Perfect. Thank you. All right, so we have all three of those being, I appreciate that. I know it takes a lot of time to be on these committees and a lot of dedication, so thank you. It's now time for the public comment section. On the agenda item, I have only one, but Vice Chair Kraus, would you please read the statement?
Thank you. The purpose of the public participation segments of the board meeting is to allow the public to address matters within the board's jurisdiction and not to resolve individual grievances or disputes. Public comments related to education, the board agenda, and the district are welcome and encouraged, but public comment segments are not forums to engage in personal attacks against school system employees or board members. To maintain orderly conduct, the public comment segment of the meeting may not be used as open forums to discuss matters unrelated to education, to support or oppose candidates for public office, including presentation of political and/or campaign issues, announcing candidacy and/or campaigning, or to engage in commercial speech attempting to sell a service or product to the board or to the public. Nor are they forums to address matters involving disciplinary actions of any kind, pending claims, complaints, or litigation against the district or district personnel. Public comment segments duration are as follows. Agenda item comments are limited to 3 minutes. One group representative speaking on a proposition has a maximum of 6 minutes. The speaker must remain on agenda topic for the item. Non-agenda items limited to 2 minutes. Speakers shall direct their comments only to the board and may not address the audience or other speakers. No speaker may yield his or her time to any other person. Generally, substitutions of speakers will not be allowed. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, we have Nina Sandberg. Thank you. Good evening.
I'm Nina Sandberg. Regarding salary schedules, SCPS perpetually does not pay a living wage to the employees who work at the actual schools, while employees at the district offices make six-figure salaries and drive fancy new cars. My daughter's math teacher had to quit a couple of months ago and take a job in the private sector because she could not afford to support her children on what you were paying her to teach middle school math. You lost an excellent math teacher over inadequate pay. Over the past few years, you have lost a large number of excellent teachers, excellent speech therapists, and other employees because you have not been paying them enough money to live. You do not pay the bus drivers enough money for them to own their own cars. The wages that you are paying your employees are not even keeping up with other Florida school districts or inflation. You have to do better. It has to be a priority for all school board members and for the superintendent that you pay your school-based employees an actual living wage. Regarding the purchase of science textbooks, when you do not make sure that you have textbooks for the academic subjects, the students suffer. My daughter lost an entire year of proper instruction in 4th grade science because SCPS provided no textbooks to her class of any kind in any format. SCPS could not even be bothered at the time to purchase Studies Weekly Science online or via newspaper that year. SCPS simply failed to provide any proper written curriculum materials to her class at all. As a consequence, the class did no reading or writing across the curriculum in science. They did almost no written work. They did not do vocabulary study, worksheets, study guides, tests, research papers, or anything involving actual reading and writing or even testing. The teacher was even permitted to abandon the 4th grade Florida science curriculum and standards to do 3rd grade brain pop that was not even over the correct content material and was not even on grade level instead. The 5th grade science competency test scores were lower as a result of SCPS not providing proper curriculum materials to her 4th grade class. Textbooks are a major priority. By the way, the health teacher at ITMS needs a new set of health textbooks. Please make sure he gets them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Order, please. Order.
All right, it's now Superintendent. We're on the consent agenda. Do you have any recommendations?
Yes, that the consent agenda be approved as presented.
Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
A motion.
All right.
And
Okay, Kelly. Member Davis made the motion. Who seconded it?
Member Pennick.
Member Pennick. All right. All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Motion carries. Passes. Thank you. Right. So now, over any of those. And we already, Superintendent, do you have any recommendations for discipline matters?
Yes, I do. That the School Board of Seminole County approve the student disciplinary recommendations from 12/4/2023, 12/11/2023, and 1/8/2024.
Motion.
Second.
Thank you. Motion, Member Pennick and Member Garrick. Seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Any discussion? Nope. All right. All in favor. Thank you. All right. Now it's time for our board committee update, or it isn't? What did I just miss? Oh, new business. Sorry. All right, here it is. Sorry, I missed that whole page. We're now ready for a new business item. Superintendent, do you have a recommendation?
Yes, that the School Board of Seminole County adopt the instructional materials recommendations of the Science Adoption Committee for Marine Science and authorize the superintendent to purchase the highest-ranked committee choice that also appears on the 23-24 FODOE Science Instructional Materials Adoption List current at the time of purchase.
Motion.
So moved. Second.
Member Pennick and Vice Chair Kraus. Is there any discussion? All right. I would just like to say with this that I know with science and any of our textbooks, we have to get the funding from the state. Am I correct? Before we can purchase our materials, and it has to be approved by the state on the Department of Education.
We get funding, and then we go through our process to make the appropriate selections, and those, a number of those happen on the adoption list from the state, which is why the recommendation reads as it does. You're correct.
Thank you. I just want to make sure that everybody knows that I wish that we could just buy books freely, but we get the funding first, and then we get an approval list from the state of what's allowed, and then we can go from that process on. Thank you. All right. Is there any, so that I did the discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes. Thank you. Superintendent, do you have a second new business recommendation?
Yes, that the School Board of Seminole County adopt the instructional materials recommendations of the Science Adoption Committee for Physics and authorize the superintendent to purchase the highest-ranked committee choice that also appears on the 23-24 Florida DOE Science Instructional Materials Adoption List current at the time of purchase.
So moved.
Second.
All right. Motion by Member Garrick, second by Member Davis. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes. Superintendent, do you have a third new business recommendation?
Yes, that the School Board of Seminole County adopt the instructional materials recommendations of the Science Adoption Committee for Physical Science and authorize the superintendent to purchase the highest-ranked committee choice that also appears on the 23-24 Florida DOE Science Instructional Materials Adoption List current at the time of purchase.
So moved.
Second.
All right, so Vice Chair Kraus made the motion, and who did the second? Okay, Member Pennick, thank you. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes. Thank you. Superintendent, do you have another report or anything?
My report is read-only as included in your books.
Wonderful, thank you. All right, now we're ready for board committee updates and anything else that if you forgot that you left off, if you want to add to it, please feel free to do so. All right, ready for you?
Very good. So I actually did forget about my Business Advisory Board meeting. There was a great recap of the of the Lyman. It was of the Lyman visit, which is the Business Advisory Committee has been, or board has been meeting for decades, but they've branched out with an initiative from the superintendent and the director of communication, Ms. Serkinvich, to make sure that we broaden our tent and showcase opportunities for the community to build partnerships with our schools and to enrich those public-private relationships. So there was a discussion about that, and they're planning the upcoming breakfast as well. So if that's something, if you have a business in Seminole County, small or large, and you would like to find out more about the inner workings of SCPS and how your company can get involved, please reach out. I'd love to put you in touch with the folks at the Business Advisory Board. We had a phenomenal couple of weeks. kicking off our new semester with school visits as well as community events. I was able to visit our high schools from the smallest to the largest. Superintendent was gracious enough to let me tag along with her visits. I went to Sci High, the 9th grade center at Seminole High School and Seminole High School. I want to say that, we often talk about the accolades of our school as an A-rated district, about our high graduation rates. And again and again and again, the theme is when I meet with teachers, when I meet with students, and when I see them in action, we are able to meet those, to make those marks because of the personal relationships that we build. It was wonderful to see each and every principal introduce me to students, to have students come up and spontaneously give them hugs, high fives, talk about things that are in their lives. One principal introduced me to a student who is looking to be a school board member. So these educators are building personal relationships because we all know those are what is going to help set up that student for success. It's one thing to get, great grades, but to have someone in your corner is invaluable. We had the opportunity, many of us, you folks were at preparing for legislative days, but many of us had the opportunity to be out at the MLK events. There were 8 events in 4 days by the Oviedo Citizens in Actions, Citizen in Action, a decades-long advocacy group for the Oviedo area, and then of course the Sanford MLK Steering Committee that had events at Seminole State, as well as Sanford Civic Center, and of course a couple of parades. Our own superintendent was honored as a trailblazer and recognized as an African-American pioneer leader, so we were very thrilled to be able to support her. Additionally, and that's of course is a great warm-up for African-American Black History Month next month. Also had a chance to go out to the to Lake Brantley High School and see the young men and women of excellence. The young men of excellence were having a chess tournament, and we know that the young women are gearing up to be part of that next year. So excited to support that, and support the work of Minnie Cardona and her foreign languages team. There was a great workshop that she had called The Leader in Me, which was all about making sure that our students who are non-native English speakers have a strong community. And the emphasis, which spoke to my heart, was sharing personal stories. I'm a firm believer and have done much of my work in sharing with the understanding that it is our stories that connect us, and it circles all the way back to the relationship aspect of our schools that is so important. So thank you for letting me share.
Thank you. So I too had the ESOL event and wanted to thank Minnie Cardona for facilitating. It was an opportunity, and I was literally so moved by talking with the students and hearing their stories. And they were connecting. They were making friends, which is half of the struggle when they come here. Amazing program, and I was so grateful to listen and be a part of it. We all participated in the academic kickoff, the academic tournament, and these kids are so smart. It's embarrassing to sit here and I wouldn't even know how to start. I'm being very candid. They are amazing smart, and that will continue for the next few weeks as well. Tomorrow.
Tomorrow's the next one, yes.
Yes. This weekend, this past weekend, I was able to go to the transition fair at Winter Springs High School along with the superintendent and a few board members. Our team has done a phenomenal job. It was freezing cold, and there were vendors there that offer services, sharing information. It was phenomenal. I think we had over 500 families. It was amazing turnout, and I was glad to see everybody in action. Thank you and your teams for organizing that. On Friday, I think it was Friday, our superintendent was recognized at the Heritage Jubilee event. This is an honor. They haven't had it for a couple of years because of COVID, but it's sponsored by the Seminole State College Black faculty. And they recognize not only Superintendent Beeman for her trailblazing, but also Miss Ingrid Burton-Nathan, who we also have recognized as the first Black student to integrate our schools. And very incredible presentation, and we're so proud of you, Superintendent, for your work as well. And yeah, thank you. And I think we're looking forward to a field trip to Orlando Science Center on the 30th. They have a new display. I know some of our schools are doing field trips for the littles. I heard that Parton is going soon. The new exhibit is called Life, and that will be open by spring break. They have spring break camps, but you need to sign up quick because the spots go quickly. This exhibit is from underground to into the rainforest, and they have live animals now. So we're going to get to see some native animals. I'm really looking forward to that field trip with the board. And that concludes my non-committee reports. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have nothing more to add. Everything has been crossed off my list. No apologies. Thank you.
Right. Member Davis?
I just wanted to recognize Superintendent Beeman as well today. I had the privilege of going to Highlands Elementary School this morning for another award presentation for a teacher, student, and employee there, and the thrills on their face were unbelievable. Miss Superintendent Beeman goes to every single school in our district, and the school principals chooses someone to recognize as a Spark recipient. Spark Award, because they bring Spark to Seminole County. And again, it was an amazing presentation, and the student was thrilled. He had some Beats earphones, and the other two got gift cards, and they all had certificates. And it was really just such an honor to be there with her. You know, we kind of split them up as far as where we go, but Superintendent Beeman goes to every single one. And I just wanted to thank her for doing that.
Thank you. Anything else? All right. Along with that, our executive directors also go with her too, and we couldn't do it without them. So thank you for everything you do with that, because it surely does take a village. And Dr. Gooch, thank you for being the secretary for Sable for me the other day. I think, was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? Thank you. Wasn't it fun? You learned a lot? Yes. So speaking of that, you know, I know people, salary is always a touchy subject, and I've been in the education system for over 35 years now, and I just want you to know we're still number 48 out of 50 in the nation on our salaries. 48 out of 50 states. That's something that comes down from the state. So just wanted you to be aware of that please speak to your legislators, please speak to the governor, please speak to whoever, so they understand that. Along with the wonderful, fabulous activities that we've had for the past couple of weeks, the 37th annual celebration that we did for Martin Luther King Jr., Member Garrick and I had an opportunity to go to the interfaith service with you and your lovely family, and you did an amazing job speaking to everyone. I wanted to take opportunity to thank Mr. Kenny Bentley, who's right there in the front row, along with Melvin. What's Melvin? Philpott. Thank you. They chair and co-chair the steering committee, and all the events that we went to last week were phenomenal. I mean, you all knocked it out of the ballpark. Unbelievable. The dinner, the parade, which Your children joined us. Our wellness champ, Don Bontz, joined us. We had our wagon. Member Garrick and I were passing candy out to everyone. It wasn't the kids that were so picky, it was the adults. They were going through my bag like, no, I want this. Not the children. But we had a great time. And I just want to say that I am just so impressed with everything that has been going on and all the different events that we've been going to. And I know that Member Vice Chair Kraus and Member Garrick have mentioned that we had a chance to go to the I Learn America program that Minnie Cardona, the ESOL teachers, put together, as well as the ELL students. And I didn't go on the same day they went, but to listen to the stories of our teachers and the stories of our students and the book that they're putting together. Everyone, that's why I read Everyone Has a Story, because we all do. And just remember to be kind to everybody, because you don't know until you walk in their shoes what they've been through. And it's very important that you do realize that. So thank you for that, Mrs. Cardona, and to your phenomenal ESOL teachers for everything they do day in and day out. The young men of excellence that we had an opportunity to go to for the chess competition, phenomenal. The girls are going to be participating next year. So they were there to watch and learn. But we have a Poetry Out Loud contest coming up February 1st. And we're going to be actually holding it here in this building, but this room is already full, so we're going upstairs. And I'll be judging that event. I wanted to briefly say we had the joint work session with Seminole State College. I don't know if somebody mentioned that or not. I can't remember. I didn't have it checked off. But that workshop with our partnership with Seminole State went exceptionally well. And working together collaboratively on some of the different summer programs, some of our different partnerships that we can continue, and some more career pathways that we're doing, some new programs, dual enrollment. There are so many different things. FAFSA, how to, fill out the form, completion rates, what we need to do, what kind of changes we need to do with it. So the discussions were phenomenal with that. I also brought one of my Lake Mary Life magazines because I just want to do a shout out to Dr. Shongard Harold, along with ePathways and everybody else and the whole program. Of course, open enrollment is starting. So in the middle, in every single one of these magazines, they do a great job with making sure that they feature our schools and all the different things that they do. It's actually tonight is Idlewild's night. So Idlewild, the IB program tonight, along with I just went blank on it. The Leader in Me is tonight for that. But there's all week and starting as well as next week. So check out the website, check out this. If you don't get this, check out all the different things that we have coming through. I'm sure that they've sent you flyers and emails and phone messages, so I'm sure you received all of that as well. And then on top of that, I just wanted to mention that Allie's Hope, we are still continually working with our schools. We're working with Orlando Health now and trying to come up with our mission statement and objectives. I want to thank Mr. Rice for working collaboratively with us on that, and it takes a village, starting all these programs that we want, and we're trying to bring them down from high school, middle school, to whatever we need to, because everyone has suffered or has had a mental wellness situation in their life. And anybody that says they haven't, I don't believe you, because we all have. So last year, this is coming from the Sheriff's Department, we had over 700 Baker Acts. That went up 20%. It's really critical. Teachers, employees, our SCPS family, all of us here, listen to your children, listen to each other, be there for each other, and stop and take that time, because that's so critical for everyone, to make time for each other. We do that for each other. We love to laugh and giggle, and we get along really well. So we're probably one of the very few boards that do get along very well. So thank you, Superintendent Beeman, for keeping us in line. And League of Women Voters is having some great events too, so check out some of the great luncheons that they're having. And the wellness, I wanted to thank the wellness team for all the committees that are popping up on our phone and the app. We're all ready to go. And it started yesterday, and I'm the Sanchez Steppers.
Strolling with Sarita.
Strolling with Sarita.
Go ahead.
Soulmates.
And then catch up if you can, our team.
Yes, you do. Okay, I'll get with you afterwards.
The backup is the same as the check.
Kelly's famous team. I got
Member
your name.
Penix is fabulous.
For the holy guacamoles.
And Ms. Cole Palmer, what team are you on? You're on superintendent's
I'm on
team?
the superintendent's team.
Okay, so each of us have different cabinet members on our teams, and then the schools all have different teams too. So there's a ton of different teams, and they created this app, and then you go to this app, and then you have to answer trivia questions, and you log in if you're walking, you're running, you're swimming, you're playing pickleball, whatever it may be. Yoga. There's so many, I mean, it's just amazing. There's a lot to learn on it though. So I just wanted to say that that's something that all SCPS employees, it seems like thousands are already on this. So we're ready for our stroll.
Yes.
We're ready to go.
Ready for the stroll on the 3rd of February.
That's right, it's coming up. So the Sarita Stroll is coming up, and we're ready to go. We've all been taking the stairs and working hard for that. Other than that, that is the end of my report. I did want to mention with the dinner, the Lake Howell student that for the oratorical contest.
Yes.
What was the name?
Jalen.
Jalen.
His name was Jalen.
Oh my goodness, phenomenal. Wow. I agree. He's going to be our next president. He was phenomenal. So y'all did an amazing job with the committee with that too. And they also had a poster contest too for the elementary school students. So thank you. You guys must be tired. So you had like weeks worth of events. And that concludes my report. And now we have time for our public comments and non-agenda items. We did that one already. Yep. So superintendent report was read only, so we're good with that. And then public comments, non-agenda, I have a few here. Gabriela Gongora Rosales. And then after her would be Somaya Bodahabu. Who? Did I say your name? Butcher it? I'm sorry. How do I say that? Thank you. And so you're after her. Thank you.
Good evening, members of the school board. My name is Gabriela Gongora Rosales, and I'm a senior at Seminole High School. I'm here to speak to you on behalf of students in Seminole County Public Schools who are survivors of sexual assault or harassment on campus. According to the Center for Disease Control, weak laws and policies related to sexual violence and gender equity, as well as a lack of institutional support in communities, are one of many risk factors linked to higher perpetration of sexual violence. We're seeing that here in Seminole County Public Schools, where complaints of sexual assault and harassment are not rare. Sexual harassment and assault are a serious epidemic both around the world and in SCPS, and mitigating it effectively requires constant support and progress from the institutions above students that are responsible for protecting them. I want to thank the members of our school board for their dedication to supporting student survivors by adding Title IX language to our student code of conduct. and the removal of discriminatory phrasing in the Title IX report form. However, I'm here today to ask you all to reaffirm your commitment to supporting students who have had these experiences on our campuses by ensuring that all schools have clearly enumerated Title IX policies posted on flyers around their schools. Additionally, creating Title IX trainings for students about what Title IX is and how it applies to them is imperative, as many students do not know or have access to the Student Code of Conduct for that information. Students have to be empowered to understand where to go if they are sexually harassed or assaulted. And SCPS is responsible for stepping up to provide this critical information. SCPS has a responsibility to make it evident to all students, parents, and teachers that sexual assault and harassment have no place in their classrooms. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ms. Bonds, if you would please make contact with our student. Okay, thank you.
Yes. Gabriella, afterwards, Ms. Bonds is going to reach out to you. Thank you. Samaya? After Samaya, Christina Barkley. You're up next after that. And then Nina Sandberg, and then Robin Dellinger.
Good evening, members of the school board. My name is Somya Bodanapu, and I am a junior at Seminole High School. I'm here to speak to you today on behalf of the students of Seminole County Public Schools who are survivors of sexual assault and sexual harassment. Sexual assault and sexual harassment are a serious epidemic both around the world and within SCPS. 56% of girls and 50% of boys in grades 7 to 12 have experienced some form of sexual harassment, and in some instances, these experiences happen in school. We have received reports of SCPS students being sexually harassed in classes by their peers, on school bus transportation, and online by the very peers they have to sit next to in class. Seminole County Public Schools have a legal imperative to ensure that all survivors have direct access and knowledge of the support system available to them after the traumatic experience of harassment or assault. While SCPS has made great progress by mandating Title IX training to all staff, having resources like a Title IX report flow chart and a brief summary of Title IX policies to be signed by parents would allow students to have many safe adults to make reports to. Currently, multiple neighboring counties have Title IX report flow charts, which are crucial to outlining a clear chain of communication for anyone making a report. For many students, these flow charts would aid in mitigating the fear that comes from these experiences and would help the efficacy of Title IX reports in schools. Furthermore, we need to work on educating parents and uplifting them as a voice for their children. By sending out a brief summary of Title IX policies to be signed by parents, we can ensure that they are properly educated on their children and how they are protected under Title IX, and the steps to take if their child has experienced sexual assault in their school. Every SCPS student deserves the right to feel protected and uplifted on their campus, and implementing these policies to make Title IX directly accessible to students and parents is a step in creating equity in our classrooms. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. Christina Barkley.
My name is Christina Barkley. I'm the mother of a 12-year-old little girl that up until December 6, 2023 was a 6th grade student enrolled at South Seminole Academy. My daughter was the victim of multiple incidents of bullying and harassment while attending South Seminole, and for her physical, mental, and emotional well-being, I withdrew her from that school on that day. What happened to my daughter should never happen to any child. My child was verbally harassed and threatened, both in person through text messages. These text messages were addressed with the school, the principal, the dean. They did not want them sent to them in an email. I even left a voicemail for the school board directors. I don't know who I left a message for, but I never heard back. My daughter, the only response that I have received from the principal at South Seminole was that she would email me and include my daughter's teachers and her guidance counselor because I said she needed the remainder of her assignments for the rest of the quarter and to take her exams. I asked the dean what the consequences for this type of incident was. He could not tell me specifically, just that they would follow the guidelines. He said, I am not the only parent that has come to him. My daughter is now in virtual school. Many of her virtual school teachers have said they have had a large influx of 6th and 7th grade students enrolling in virtual school for this very reason, and that my daughter is not alone. I have a whole lot more to say, but I didn't realize I only had 2 minutes. But my daughter used to love school. In fact, she was the first 4th grade safety patrol. Typically, that's reserved for 5th graders. She even got to go on the Washington, D.C. safety patrol trip. My daughter now hates school and is terrified. I should never have had to receive a call from her running through the school and another student chasing her after she went to the office and showed them this threat, and they sent her away. I know you want me to stop reading.
Ma'am, you may provide any materials you have to the clerk, and she can make sure each of the board members receive them.
Yes,
I will be
we would
happy
love
to
Thank you.
give you the rest
Please
of this.
receive that. Thank you for letting us know. And is there anybody that she can talk to afterwards? Can you,
Ms.
Ms.
Barkley,
Barkley?
if you would please stay after.
Thank you so much. Ms. Sandberg?
I'm Nina Sandberg. The superintendent needs to meet with them after the meeting. It is very detrimental to society to teach critical race theory, equity, diversity, and inclusion, and Marxism to young people. Adolf Hitler taught critical race theory to Germany's youth through the Hitler Youth. 6 million innocent Jews were murdered by Hitler in the name of critical race theory. Now, American college students run around protesting against Jews, calling for the genocide of Jews, and calling for the annihilation of Israel at the urging of their Marxist leftist college professors who have taught them vitriolic anti-Semitic hatred in the name of critical race theory and equity, diversity, and inclusion. These radical extremist college professors have also taught our college students to support terrorist groups and terrorism and to participate in terrorism. American college students have been participating in and supporting the following terrorist groups and more: Antifa, BLM, CHOP, Trans-Tifa, Hamas, Hezbollah, Houthi, etc. In 2020, we witnessed all kinds of unethical, immoral, and disgusting behavior from America's college students as they participated in riots all over the country and attacked innocent police officers, innocent businesses, and innocent civilians, and destroyed $2 billion worth of property. They are still at it, now attacking Jewish students, the Jewish people, and the state of Israel. We are supposed to be teaching our youth to judge each other by the content of our characters instead of by our race, skin color, ethnicity, religion, gender, sexual orientation, and other immutable characteristics. It is way past time to go back to the teachings of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and even Moses and Jesus Christ, and to stop teaching our youth to hate everyone and to attack everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Robin Dellinger?
Good evening, board members and Ms. Beeman. I wanted to comment that I was really happy to see that the partnership between Seminole County Public Schools and UCF on the counseling intervention program at Pinecrest Elementary School is back in place. This initiative was an excellent support for students and parents, and it was wonderful. It's wonderful that it will be starting up again. If I recall correctly, prior to the pandemic, there were a couple of high-need schools that received that support, and I'm hoping that, you know, as the program gets back going, that it will be able to expand to some other high-need schools. I also just wanted to briefly comment that it was great to see all of the science adoptions were completed and the recommendation of the committees were approved. The work that the committees are engaged in is a really big job, and Dr. Scanlon and her department and all the teachers, administrators, and parents should be commended for their time and their professionalism, and I think it's a testimony to their work that things were approved and move forward so easily. And then finally, I know Ms. Krause mentioned the Heritage Jubilee, but I did want to comment. I'm a citizen that actually got to go to that, and I just wanted to comment that it was very uplifting, I guess, to see Ms. Nathan and Ms. Beeman be recognized for their accomplishments and achievements. It really makes your heart feel good to hear Ms. Nathan talk about her experiences with her heart full of love.
and she continued to work in our district for 38 years. You know, Mr. Nathan was an incredible principal, and it's just very wonderful to be able to recognize them. And it's also an opportunity to recognize Ms. Beeman for her dedicated service to Seminole County, and also to helping the district achieve unitary status, which was a very big thing, and for her leadership as the superintendent. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Right. Out any other comments? Go ahead.
No comments.
All right. Anybody else have anything else before? All right. With no further comments, this meeting is adjourned. It is, everybody have a great weekend. It is 6:49 p.m. Thank you.